Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ben Davis Sports Talk Show here on JBE Sports, cable channel 20 on your Mediacom cable network. I'm Bernie Prebynski, and we are certainly pleased to be joined today by Dr. Steve Hollar. Steve is a dentist down here in Warsaw, but if you follow high school basketball at all in the state of Indiana, you'll know that Steve was a member of the Warsaw 1984 state championship basketball team, and also one of the stars of the classic basketball movie Hoosiers. And welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
And we want to start out talking a little bit about the high school basketball right now. And Steve, with this being sectional week and the sectional being at Warsaw this year, you know, overall, what does this week mean to Warsaw High School and to the community here?
Well, it's an important week. I don't think it's not necessarily an important week just in Warsaw area. It's an important week in the state of Indiana. I wasn't there that long ago not to remember that teams are going to the players' homes, and moms and dads are cooking meals for the teams, and I think it's a special week. It's not like a normal week in the regular season. I know that we always did special things. We'd have a meal every single night at a different player's home, and you know it's something different. They're getting keyed up, and you're looking forward to it really after Christmas. You're gearing towards the sectional and the state run.
You know, as you said, it wasn't all that long ago, you know, when you were playing. But for you personally, what was it like to win a state championship? You know, every high school athlete, their ultimate goal has to win a state title. And how was that for you, and what kind of effect has that had on your life?
It's an interesting question. It's had a big effect on my life, simply from the reason that I'm a practicing dentist here in Warsaw, and I guarantee you I wouldn't be back in town had I missed the 2 free throws that won the state championship. I'd probably be somewhere else in the state of Indiana practicing dentistry. So in that regard, Warsaw and our surrounding area, Kosciuszko County, has been very, very blessed and been good to me in that regard. So it's been good.
You know, you mentioned the 2 free throws, but what was it like to play in a state championship game? You know, back then it was single-class basketball, but just the whole atmosphere, and what's that like, and what's that like for a young player to go through?
Well, it's interesting. Back when we won it in 1984, I was a junior. Myself and Jeff Gross, if you remember Jeff Gross, our senior year, he won Mr. Basketball then our senior year, but we were juniors then, and the state tournament was interesting. It was one class, so it's different than it was now. So selfishly, you got a sense that you were the best. You beat everybody, but that brings up, I'm sure you've had on this show before, the whole issue of class basketball. So it was special and something that I value immensely, I guess. And I'm sure you're going to segment into the movie, and I certainly have a comparison with winning the state championship in 1984 and then winning one in I guess it was 53 in the movie Hoosiers. Was there any difference, and did it feel the same? I'll guarantee you there's no comparison to winning it in real life.
Oh boy, I could only imagine. You mentioned class basketball. If you could just touch on that briefly. You know, it's been, 5 years ago it was a hot topic, and in a lot of people's minds it's still a very hot topic. And I think I kind of sense where you feel on that. But tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that.
Well, I may be tainted from winning a state championship, so I'm certainly biased to a one-class system. I'm biased in the sense that I made a movie about Hoosiers. That was the whole premise of the movie was Indiana high school basketball based on a one-class system, how unique that was, how special that was for the state of Indiana. But then my biases too, you have to know where everybody has a comment. If you're in the state of Indiana, if I flipped the interview and asked you, you have a comment. You certainly have strong feelings one way or another. And I do feel for the small schools, the single A schools, and I don't know if they did really have a fair shake. I came from a big high school, a 4A high school, so we had a good run at it almost every year that I played. We felt like we had a legitimate shot at it. But I have good friends to this day that say they would rather have it back the old way simply because they had a chance to play Ben Davis, they had a chance to play Warsaw, a chance to play Marion, a chance to play the Fort Wayne schools, Auburn, etc. The Calb, you name it. There are a lot of good ones out there.
There certainly are. You know, back on in your high school career, you played for one of the real legends in high school basketball, Coach Al Rhodes. Just retired after last year. I believe his last game, I think, was against DeKalb. But just a wonderful, wonderful run. Tell us about your feelings for Coach Rhodes and maybe what kind of effect he's had on your life also.
Well, I think all his players, he's coached some great players. I was probably more of a role player for him and in the right spot at the right time. But Coach Al Rhodes is I guess, a terrific man. Ran a great program. Didn't really rant and rave and curse at the kids. He sure ran and raved a lot at the referees. But a man I respect, a good husband, a good father to his kids, an excellent teacher, and I think that's what a lot of people don't know. He could have easily been an engineer or done something else. He's brilliant. He's much smarter than I ever hoped to be as far as an individual. Intellectually, he's a very, very intelligent man. He carried that through to the system that he set up at Warsaw. And he really, you know, Doug Ogle's the coach now, and the system is what's interesting, the program that he set up all the way from the high school all the way down to the elementary level. So I respect Coach Rhodes immensely. He shaped and created a lot of my success in my life, and I owe a lot to him.
And, you know, I didn't know Coach Rhodes well. As a matter of fact, I just had a chance to meet him last year, but very impressed. Just, I guess from my perspective, you know, he just totally put you at ease. You know, it's almost like we were best of friends after probably 30 seconds. And, you know, just it seems like a very good man, and from yourself and a number of people that I've talked to.
You know, a lot of people don't know when we won the state championship, he was only 31 years old. And when you think back to have that type of poise and to have that type of handle on sense of history and the sense of what you're doing, it wasn't by mistake, because talent-wise, we weren't the best.